How's it going, everyone? My name is Eddie Cooney. I'm a senior at UMSL this year, and my previous internship over the summer was with the Alton River Dragons as a game day intern. Now, a general understanding of what I did and really everything that went into it. So, a game day intern entails actually being able to set up for the games, making sure that all inventory levels of all items, including merchandise and concessions, is all maintained, making sure that tickets are handed out to people around the Alton area, as well as making sure to create connections between you and the citizens of Alton. Then making sure the game runs smoothly, securely, and making sure everything is broken down and set up for the games. Now, really, how I understood this role going into it, because it was a brand new season, I didn't really know much to expect. This is my first year working for a collegiate summer league team, so I didn't necessarily know everything that was going into it. Last semester, I worked for UMSL in their sports or in their athletics department, and I did a lot of work regarding just doing working the games, making sure that everything ran smoothly, whether if it was working the scoreboard, making sure the productions was done to the network, or making sure anything and everything was done at a smooth and successful rate. On that, making sure that I had certain goals is especially what needs to be done. Going into any internship, you want to make sure you have set standards and make sure you go into something and know what needs to be done by the end of it. When I went into this internship, I wanted to make sure to see if the collegiate sports was exactly for me. Going into it, I didn't necessarily have an understanding of how summer leagues or collegiate teams worked, so making sure to get that general understanding and then making sure to broaden my horizons with what I really wanted to do once I got out of college. Because of this internship, I got to do a lot of community work, and I will say I love the community aspect of things. I love actually being able to go around, talk to people, making sure that they're happy, making sure that they know about our team, and making sure that they know that we are here to help them in any way and making sure they can come to the game. So making sure that the community standpoint of things was priority number one because, of course, without fans, can't really have sports. So I made sure that the community aspect was driven as well as my fellow interns in the best way possible. And because of that, I'm starting to realize marketing and community relations are something that I really want to do. So I was able to actually get that understanding and make sure that everything was done in a smooth and successful rate. I was able to achieve those goals because of those community bonds and then making sure that I also knew what I didn't want to do. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing knowing that because with UMSL, there were certain things I didn't necessarily want to do. Now, I know the game day setup and everything, that's something I probably don't want to do. Yes, it is a lot of work. You're going to be there all the time, but there's not really much of an engagement standpoint. Whereas I love that engagement standpoint with fans, making sure that they're happy and everything is run smoothly and successfully. Making sure that the fans are happy is, of course, the best thing to know. I felt like everything together with marketing, community wise, game day operations, event management, inventory, whatever it may be, I was able to learn all of that. Not necessarily something that you can learn in college athletics. Running a sports team is a lot more difficult to do. Making sure that you have that time to get everything done at the best rate possible is something that needs a lot of time done. So being at that college, summer collegiate standpoint, realize a lot of time goes into that and making sure that everything is run smoothly and successfully for the fans, the players, and for anyone watching at home is the best thing to have happen. Some of my biggest takeaways from this as well, realizing again what I don't want to do, making sure that I have everything I need in order to succeed, but also making sure to better prepare myself for if I want to do community or marketing. What skills do I need? What else do I need to actually perfect? And realizing that I need to do a lot more work with Adobe and making sure certain things with artwork are done properly is the best thing to do. On a community standpoint, I feel like there are certain things I can do with actually being able to engage with different aspects of the community. I know the sports side of the community. I was able to do a volunteer event recently with the American Red Cross Association for expecting mothers. So that was something a little out of my comfort zone, not only, but especially something where I'm actually meeting a different audience. So I feel like that was something awesome that I was able to get in. But I want to learn about those different audiences and see how can I connect them to baseball or how can I connect them to athletics. So that's something to always look at as well. My personality, I feel like I've been able to better myself with the way I talk to people. I feel like there are certain aspects of when I talk to people that wasn't necessarily perfected or I could have done better. And I feel like because of this community program, I was actually able to go around and kind of figure out what I need to do or what I need to say a little bit differently. Of course, messing up is a part of the process and no one's perfect. So I was able to mess up so many times to realize, hey, I need to do so many things differently with the way I communicate, the way I structure something, whatever it may be. I feel like if I were to tell my younger self something, looking back at myself being like, what do you want to do or what do I want to do in that case? Making sure to let them know that the college route is something pretty difficult to do. Not everything's going to be given to you, and I didn't necessarily know that. I thought sports was going to be a little more easygoing when I got into it, which is something that shouldn't necessarily think. You should always expect the worst out of something. But even though it wasn't a bad experience, I got everything I knew. I, of course, was burnt out after it. So making sure to pace yourself a little bit, making sure not pile everything up in one's take. Because I could have a game day one day and then also pile up a bunch of homework that same day. So making sure to pace yourself or making sure to spread everything out to make sure that you are successful, making sure you take the best approach in your actual everyday life. I feel like for incoming students, making sure to broaden your horizons, making sure not to just look at something and take the first thing you want. Study the internships. Study. Just look at every internship, see what skills you need, and see what you can do to achieve those skills. If you're looking at a social media job and you need Adobe experience, go on every other type of application that you see for a social media manager. See how much experience you need in something specifically. And then you can look for classes you can do in Adobe. LinkedIn has a bunch of classes, making sure that you have all the tools you need to succeed. Because people aren't just going to hire you for who you are. You need to make sure to have the skills, of course, with that. Your personality is one thing, but the skills and the experience are something completely different that you need to have. For current sports management students, I feel like making sure to better yourself and actually pace yourself as well. There is a lot to do with sports management. An internship seems like a lot, but telling you from experience, I've had 2 internships now. It's something that's very doable. Don't be afraid about not having money. Don't be afraid about getting caught behind in schoolwork. There is a way to pace yourself and make sure to do everything. Last semester, I took an internship that was 20 to 25 hours a week, had a full-time job, made sure to take 18 credit hours, had a girlfriend. I had so many priorities, but I was able to do it. There's no when you're actually doing this. You want to make sure to give yourself the benefit of the doubt and go into something and make sure that you know how big of a rock star you are. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Making sure that you know how good you are at what you do is the best thing to do. And for the sports management program and the courses, there's going to be a lot of interaction. Do not hold yourself to 1-word or 2-word sentences. Make sure you interact with people. You're in college. Yes, it seems like an easy ride, but being interactive and picking the brains of some of the best people in sports, which we will have in our classes talking to us, making sure to do that will put you so much further in life. And I feel like people don't necessarily see that. When I transferred from Merrimack over to UMSL, I didn't have an expectation of what I wanted to do or what I needed to do. But listening to all these minds in sports made me want to connect with them further, and I made sure to message so many of them. I made sure to gain tons of knowledge, tons of experience, and tons of expertise from people. And because of that, I feel like I'm bettering myself for the future, and I see myself having a bright future in sports. And I feel like anyone can have that. As long as you follow the steps from Dr. Baleska's program, I feel like you're going to be exactly where you need to be. The Alton River Dragons taught me so much about what I want to do and what I don't want to do, and that's awesome. I love the good, I love the bad, because it's telling me everything I need to do for sports. The Alton River Dragons changed my life for the better, and I feel like the Alton River Dragons would be a great opportunity for anyone if you want to be a game day intern or just see what you need to do to be a part of a collegiate baseball team. Thank you guys for your time. Really appreciate it. And when you're thinking about the best sports management program in the world, choose UMSL.